Okay, everyone, we have had quite an eventful week and heading towards a fairly eventful weekend, signaling some of the major developments the world has not seen, I believe, in at least last 20 to 30 years. Of course, referring to US-Iran war and the meeting in Pakistan this coming weekend. It was a very interesting development that Middle Eastern countries had, including Egypt, would also be joining, and China would be joining. Also, just as we speak, there is a meeting going on between China and Taiwan. Taiwan is the world's largest semiconductor producing country. Market has been trading sideways this week, and it was very difficult to make heads or tails in this situation. So let me bring a little bit of light to it and explain two major paradigms the world is currently trying to position itself in. So paradigm number one refers to the US supremacy, including the market supremacy. What does it mean? It means that regardless of the global tensions, US is a global leader and it's going to remain being so for the foreseeable future. Okay? So that means also that taking into consideration the debt US carries and overall spending, truth is, US just cannot afford a recession, which means the way out is printing money. You can also notice that as of right now, we are seeing the highest level of M2 money supply in several years now, and also CPI data we have received this morning. Staggering. We have 3.3% inflation for the month of March, which is 1.3% up on a month-over-month basis. Okay, so solution number one is a major inflation. Again, inflation here is rather a soft expression, because reality is that given the softness of the job market, it looks very much like stagflation. But the short term, yes, it's going to be inflation. They will have to print their way out of the national debt, of all the risks towards private credit. They will need to print their way out of all the social complications, though there will be temporary solutions to begin with. Paradigm number two, and this is uncharted territory, I would say. It's a little bit more challenging to position yourself well for it. This is taking into consideration that US essentially is losing its hegemony over the global supremacy. It's not gonna lose it completely, don't take it the wrong way, but effectively what it means that, for example, players like China, or maybe some Middle Eastern countries or Middle East aggregated, do have a seat at the table. And in that case, it means that it's more difficult to position yourself towards international markets and other currencies. Additional way to trade it or to invest into it is, you see, it's very likely that if this, even as a narrative, will come out, that will cause further drop on the US market. So, funny enough, a question towards next week is honestly whether you believe that US markets will prevail, and in that case it does make sense to buy and invest and consider what we have had, a dip, because there will be a lot of additional M2 money supply, or allocate your liquidity, invest in countries that are non-US market-based. Let me know what you think in the comments. We are definitely hitting into exceptional historical event and the weekend. Cheers, bye.